Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video for my teacher favorite items. So when you're a teacher, you have a lot of different things that you need for your classroom, and especially if you're a new teacher, maybe you don't know exactly what you need, but you know you need supplies. So I put together a list of some of my favorite things that I use in my classroom as a teacher. These are also really good teacher gifts for like Teacher Appreciation Week, anything like that, or if you have a friend who is becoming a teacher, they just finished their credential program, these are also really good gifts to give to those teacher friends as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about are these. So if you don't know what these are Mr. Sketch scented markers. These are the fatter markers. There's skinny ones too, but the fatter ones are usually used for like giant poster boards, or I don't know if you've seen it, they have Post-its that are like really big, like chart paper. So these are really good for those. So they're about this size, and when you open them up, they're all scented. So there's different scents for each one. I'll show you the different scents on the back of the package. So they all smell really, really good. I personally am not a fan of the licorice one, but some people are because it's black licorice. But these scented markers really last a good while, and they're so fun to use, especially the kids. They love using these. Now, I don't know if you let students use things that you particularly love, if that makes any sense. Usually, like, I'll buy gel pens or really nice markers for my planner, but I won't let the kids use those because they are really expensive. These, however, are not that expensive. You can actually get these on Amazon most of the time for like $5, $6. So these are a really good investment. I have two here, and I also have a pack that's already open because I love them so much. So these are the Mr. Sketch Fat Scented Markers, and I also have a package of the skinnier ones. So these are the skinnier ones. They're just smaller ones. It's basically the same thing. They are the same scents, but they also have packages of, I want to say, both fat and skinny ones that are different scents. So I know there's an ice cream pack of this where they smell like ice cream flavors, and there's lots of different ones. One is like movie theater flavors, like popcorn and butter, and really cool things. So these two are definitely my favorites in terms of markers. They just smell so good, and whenever you use them, especially me, I use the cherry one, it just makes me so happy. It makes me smile. I just really love these. They definitely put a smile on my face. So this would be my first recommendation, is Mr. Sketch scented markers. If you're interested in any of these items, you can check the down bar. I will link everything for you in the down bar below so that you can just go to the Amazon webpage, and usually, again, they're like $5, $6, so definitely pick some of these up. The next things I want to talk about are these. So these are magnets. They're actually really strong magnets. I love these ones because usually when you buy magnets, they don't stick very well. Like, I'll put up like maybe 2 or 3 handouts in like one little group. So like I'll grab a paper and I'll try and put it on the whiteboard and it'll work. But then if I put one paper behind it, like if it's a stapled packet and I try to put it on the whiteboard, it just won't stick because the magnets are not strong enough. These ones, however, are very, very strong. They will hold, I want to say, like a packet of 5 papers, and there's different sizes. So obviously you won't use the small one for like a packet of 5, but you can use a big one or maybe even 2 big ones. But they're very strong and they will definitely hold really well. So these ones I'll also link down. I got these in like a little a cylinder type package, so it came with quite a lot. I have a whole lot more than this. I just honestly use them all the time that I misplace them. So it comes with a good amount of them, and again, they're so strong that you can actually put some good stuff up there. If you want like a nice poster up on there, and maybe it's thicker like cardboard, if students are doing projects on poster board, you can actually use these magnets to hold them up on your whiteboard. And even if you don't have a magnetic whiteboard, you can also just put them on any type of metal surface and they will hold really, really well. Okay, so the next thing I want to recommend are whiteboard markers. Now, I have this cup that actually has a magnet on the back. I got this at Target. If you haven't seen my Target haul for my teacher back to school stuff, go ahead and check that video out. I'll link it right up here in the corner. But this one I got at Target. I want to say it was only like $1 or $2, so it was really nice just to pick this up and just like have it go against the whiteboard. So it's really nice to have these all there for you. I put some erasers in here too, just so that it's there whenever I need it. But right here I have my Expo markers. Now Expo markers are the really popular whiteboard markers, but I did buy this new package of markers for the whiteboard. So I haven't tried these out just yet, but I did see a review on these from Amazon that these actually work better than whiteboard markers, and that was from a teacher. So I love seeing reviews from teachers because they can actually recommend things better than people who are not teachers, because we use whiteboard markers almost every single day. So as you can see, I haven't even opened this package, but from the review, I'm hoping these will be better than Expo markers, and they are cheaper. One thing I do want to mention about these markers is that it comes with so many in this package, and it really wasn't that expensive. I honestly can't remember how much it was. I mean, if you're buying a lot of markers, it's not expensive. If you don't plan on buying a lot, then obviously you'll think it's a little more expensive. But I got a giant pack. This comes with 52, and they're all different colors. So there's different packages for the Expo markers that come in different colors, and every time I get those bigger packages, I find that some of the colors just don't pick up very well at all. I've had yellow show up really well, which is surprising because it's yellow, but then I'll have a color like brown and orange and pink that just don't show up very well. So I am not the biggest fan of the big packages for the Expos, because time and time again they just haven't proven that they are worth buying the big packages. That's why all of these are just basic colors. But this one has a lot of different colors, so I'm going to link this down for you in the down bar so you can check these out too. I did just open the package, but this is what they look like. And these are all the colors, so there's multiple ones like stacked behind it to add up to 52. So these are really, really nice, and I'm excited to use these. Again, I will link these down in the down bar. I'm also going to link the basic Expo markers, because if you are in a crunch and you just need these, you can probably find these at the dollar store or Dollar Tree, something like that, just to pick them up. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about are whiteboard markers that are not dry erase, but they're actually wet erase markers. So these ones my teacher actually used when I was in elementary school. So back when they had, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a projector where you would draw on the front and then it would display it onto the board. So you had these transparencies that you would put on it. They would always use these wet erase markers, because when they draw over it, right on the transparency and their hand gets on it, it's not going to erase. Instead, you have to use water to erase these, which I think is really nice. So these are the Expo brand vis-a-vis markers. These ones I've just been using my entire life. I haven't really seen any other ones, but I haven't really looked either. So these ones actually work really well. They are a finer tip. I haven't seen any fatter tips because, again, I haven't really needed any, so I haven't really looked. So again, these are the Expo vis-a-vis markers. These ones are really, really good if you're looking for a marker that doesn't just rub off. So for me, if you haven't seen already, I have this calendar over here that we erase all the time and write things in there. But before, I had these desks moved over, and this was an exit. So kids would come over here, they'd lean on the wall, and then some things for like a day would erase over here, and you don't know what's going on that day. So this is where we use our wet erase markers. Those tend to work best on places where like things often rub off, whereas these will not rub off because you have to use water to get rid of them. So one of my favorite things to have as a teacher is a personalized stamp. Now, I bought this 3 years ago, and I had it personalized with my name. So I have Miss Wiley on there, and I don't know if you could read it, but it says English Language Arts, and then there's a little balloon. So I got this at staples.com, but you can also get these on Amazon, on Etsy, anywhere that you can think of where they sell office supplies. So I got this, I want to say it was like $18. I don't remember exactly, but this has lasted me 3 years so far, so it's been doing really, really well. You just take off this lid here, and then you can see your stamp in here. So it'll say your name and then your class or whatever you want to put on it. So I personally love to put my name. So when kids come over with their bathroom log, instead of having to sign it, I can just pull out my stamp and stamp it, and they automatically know it's me. This also works for like checking homework or anything like that where kids can't really recreate that stamp. So one thing I like to do is, my school has Puma bucks. So our mascot is a puma. So we have these Puma bucks, and these are used around the entire school as a sort of PBIS type of get a reward, you're on time, here you go type of thing. We have these all around our campus, and every Friday we have our Puma store where they sell different things, but you can only pay in Puma bucks. So kids have to earn these, but for my class, I like to give Wiley bucks. So instead of having to create my own dollars and waste my prints, because we only get so many copies, so instead of wasting all my copies, I actually take these and I will just stamp these. So it'll have my stamp on it, sorry, that was a motorcycle. It will have my stamp on it, but kids can't recreate it. So they can't just go to like their normal dollar store and get one of those little stamps that I have and just copy it, because this one is a specially made stamp. So they have to get the font correct. They have to make sure that everything is correct on here. There's a balloon and all this stuff. It's the right color. So I think that this is a really good tool as a teacher, not just for Puma bucks or any type of dollars like that, but stamping bathroom logs, planners, notes to the parents, or anything like that. A personalized stamp will actually go a long way when you are a teacher. Alright, so this is something for someone who likes to wear things around their neck, or someone who actually loses their keys a lot like me. So I lose my keys all the time. I put my classroom key on a lanyard. So this is a lanyard that I got at Staples. It was actually pretty expensive, but it came with a reel that matched this. Unfortunately, a student was playing with this and they pulled it too far and it got stuck, so that reel was broken. But I ended up getting new reels. These are just reels that you can put on your lanyard and then they will stretch your key. So if I'm wearing this around my neck and I'm pulling my key down to unlock the door, I'll be okay if someone opens the door from the other side, because it'll pull the reel instead of pulling my neck, which did happen. One person opened the door from the other side while my key was stuck in it and it pulled me. So this is kind of a safety thing for me, and it's also really nice because if the door is low, I don't have to bend down to undo it, which is kind of a pain, but I love these. So I got these in a lot of different colors. These are available on Amazon, so they have blue, green, white, red, and black. So there's lots of different colors. I just got a pack. They do last pretty long. It's just if you pull them, they will get stuck if you pull them all the way. But honestly, the string in here is so long that if you're pulling it, you're doing it on purpose, like playing with it. So I have a lot of different colors and these will last a really long time. You can actually put your badges on them. So there's these badge holders that it came with. And this little part here actually is supposed to go through a badge, but I put my key ring in here because I personally like my badges on a different part because I'm not pulling these out to enter any doors or anything. So again, these reels are awesome, super awesome lifesavers. Even if you don't put the lanyard on your neck, some people put them on their belt loop, you can still pull it from your belt loop. So these are definitely a highly, highly recommended thing to get as a teacher. The next thing is something that teachers actually go through pretty quickly. They are cleaning supplies. So I use these all the time. These are just the Lysol wet wipes. We use them in our class so much because I do teach ASB. We're using paint a lot and we get a lot of paint spills. You get paint on desks, on floors, everywhere. So we have quite a few of these. I actually have my cabinet stocked up with a couple more of these, which they do work really well and they smell so good. Now, if we didn't have these, we would be using tissues, like actual like blow your nose tissues, and it just is not as convenient as these. These are already wet. We don't have to go get water, and they're thicker, they last longer, and they smell really nice. So aside from the wet wipes, we also have cleaning supplies like a broom. So I'm going to show you my broom. It is a very colorful, fun one, and it's actually from Ross. So Ross has a lot of cheap brooms, but personally, if you want a really quick one, I would suggest getting one off of Amazon. They have some where you can actually have the dustpan connected to the bottom, so you don't even have to bend down to scoop it. You just kind of like hold the dustpan and sweep it in, so it's like a long stick on it, if that makes any sense. So kind of like if you go to Disneyland or an amusement park, the person who's cleaning the floors doesn't have to bend down. They're just holding the dustpan here and then sweeping it in with that just by standing up. So one thing aside from brooms is the dustpan, which could be a little bit of a hassle. So my dad has a lot of back problems and it kind of came down to me, so I have back problems sometimes as well. Sometimes I'll tweak my back and I can't bend over, so instead of actually getting down there to use a dustpan, I can just grab one that's standing up and then sweep it in there without having to bend down, which is really convenient. So this is what my broom looks like. So this is my broom. It's purple at the bottom. I love how it's like super colorful, and then all these colors kind of trail up to the top. Now I don't have the dustpan with me. It is in the closet and it is locked, so I can't access that. But I did want to show you the broom that I have because there's lots of cleaning supplies that you can get that are actually really fun and don't look like just work. So I personally like the more fun ones because it looks more exciting, and then kids are more willing to help you. So if you ask a kid to sweep up in the corner, they're perfectly willing to grab it because it looks more exciting to use. Okay, so the next thing I would suggest getting is a nameplate or a name board. So that's something that has your last name. So since I'm at a continuation school, We have a new set of students every single quarter, and it's really tough if you have a tough name. I personally don't think my name is tough to remember, but when there's a lot of kids and they are meeting you for the first time and they don't know what it is, instead of having to say what your name is all the time or writing it on the board, you can actually put up your name board. So this is my name board. This was actually made by a friend for me. So you can actually get this piece of wood here, this back wood, from Michael's, and then each of these letters is also from Michael's. But I have seen them at Target or any places like Hobby Lobby or arts and crafts place. So there's just these letters that have the letters for my last name, and then you just use wood glue and connect it. So this specific piece of wood has a piece of string on the back, so if I wanted to hang this from a door, I could, or hang it from the wall. I personally will put it on this little ledge right here. I don't know if you could see it. Well, behind here, there's a ledge where all the whiteboard markers go, and I just put this over there so kids can just see it there. I personally don't want to hang it because this is only fastened on with staples, and once those go out, I don't want to have to staple this again because it is a thick piece of wood. I don't want to have to deal with that. So instead, I just kind of lean it up against the board so that kids can still see my name, and I won't have to ask me all the time, hey, what's your name, Miss whatever, or teacher, or things like that. So I definitely suggest a name board or a nameplate. This one, since it is bigger, I just lean it up, but there's also some that people have on their desks that you can just leave there. If you've seen them in like business offices, you can get some that don't even say your name, but they say like the boss, which I think one teacher in another room has one like that. So I think those are really fun too. So definitely get a nameplate or a name board. The next thing I suggest you get are stickers and stamps. So these are just some examples of some of the stickers I use. These ones are stars, these ones are apples obviously, but these have a little bit of a glitter shimmer to them. These ones are pretty basic, but this did come in a pack, so it has a lot of glittery ones as well. These ones I actually got at Target, and they came in a pretty thick pack, which I want to say had about between 1,000 and 5,000 stickers. Granted, these are small, but these on a test will actually really get a kid excited about doing well, and it'll make them want to do better on their next one as well. So for me, since I work at a continuation school, we deal with a lot of lack of motivation. Kids just aren't excited to do work, and there are a lot of times kids are failing every single class, and it's actually really normal. One thing that I have noticed, even if they are high schoolers, seniors, it doesn't matter. That little sticker actually makes them really, really excited. So a sticker, literally like pennies, maybe not even, maybe a penny each, maybe not even, but a sticker will actually go a long way because a kid will be really excited to get that, and it's like something that they earned, and it's like a little reward. So instead of having to give them candy and things like that, you can just give them a sticker on their test when they do really well. Now there are a lot of different stickers that you can get. I personally suggest getting the cheaper ones because even if a sticker is not super amazingly beautiful, a sticker is still a reward for them, and they do get really excited about those. I will show you some of the other stickers I use, but in addition to stickers, I use stamps. So although I do have my personalized stamp, kids don't really get excited to have my name on their paper as a stamp. Instead, I get stamps online from Amazon, and they are just the small little ones that they give away in goodie bags for like little kids. And I'm not even joking, I have probably 1,000 of them. I bought them in bulk, and I bought different ones. So there's some from different holidays, different seasons. So during October, I'll use some that have a ghost or a pumpkin or a witch's hat or anything like that. And then Christmas, we can use a Santa Claus or a Christmas tree. And then I also got some basic ones, which is like a cute little dog, a smiley face, little emoji ones, little animals, unicorns, things like that, and kids really do love those. They get excited to get the stamps and the stickers, so definitely that is something you should get as a teacher as a way to give them rewards for doing things really well and getting their homework done. The next thing I would suggest getting for teachers are educational posters or just fun posters in general. So my classroom, I teach English and drama, but there's a lot of different posters that go with different subjects. So I have some posters up here on the wall, right over here. So we have these ones, which I got on Amazon. It says, it's okay not to know, but it's not okay not to try. Up here we have something up here. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change it. And these ones are just little thinking maps up here, which we are using in our English class. So I put those up there as a reference for the students, but we have more posters over here about, you know, put an effort, make an effort, not an excuse. And then, what does that say? Don't decide that you can't before you discover that you can. So we have some fun little posters over here that are educational, and then there's also some posters that I use on this side that are more of a decoration type of poster. So these ones I actually painted myself, which you can do too, and then I laminated them. So we have Scar over here and then the 3 hyenas. This one I thought was really cool because it relates to teaching, so it's part of the song. If you haven't seen The Lion King, I definitely suggest it. So Scar says, "A shining new era is tiptoeing nearer." The hyenas then say, "And where do we feature?" And then Scar says, "Just listen to teacher." So I love Lion King, it's my favorite movie, so I decided to paint them, and I personally love the villains a whole lot better. They're just more interesting characters to me. And then I decided to continue my theme with the Disney villains. But I do have this decoration from Halloween. I actually got this from my friend John, and I decided to put it in my classroom. This is just one of those styrofoam tombstones. It says "Rest in Peace," and then it's a picture of Harambe, which I think is so funny. The kids really like that. So definitely get some posters in your classroom. Whether you make them yourself or whether you buy them, it's perfectly fine. It just makes your classroom more exciting. So the last posters I want to show you are up here. These ones I printed online, and then I put them on colored paper and laminated them. So these ones are just really fun rainbow ones. We have "Treat others the way you want to be treated," "You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit." We have "You're free to choose, but you are not free from the consequences of your choice." The green one says, "Character is doing the right thing even when no one is looking." Then we have blue, "You can't control what other people do, but you can control the way that you react." And then the last one, "The rules apply to everyone. This includes you." So those are just some fun little posters that I put up there, kind of to remind students of what the rules are in the classroom, how to be a good citizen, things like that. So those are some posters I have. I definitely would recommend getting some posters for your classroom. Liven it up, put some rules out there, and then show them some encouragement, some motivational words, and those will really help the students along as well. Alright, so the next thing that I highly suggest is that if you teach in a junior high or a high school or any school where kids are constantly on their cell phones, I suggest getting a calculator pocket type of thing. I use my calculator holder as a cell phone holder. So this is it right behind me. I know you've seen it like the whole video, but I want to point this out to you and show you how much it works for me. So this is it right here. So we just have this calculator holder, and inside these little ringlets there's zip ties. So the zip ties actually hold this calculator holder on here. This is just a clothing rack that I got on Amazon. It was like $10, and this I actually got from a teacher in my school. And this is what I use to collect cell phones. So I'm gonna link that video for you right up at the top. So if you don't know how to deal with cell phones in your classroom and just managing all of that, and it's just so frustrating, kids are always on their phones, this is just a system that I use. So kids will have their cell phones in these different pockets, and each number will match the number on their desk. It also matches the numbers for their Chromebooks or their laptops. So I do collect cell phones every day at the beginning of class, and this is just where they put them. At the end of the class, they do get them back, but if I do see them out and they didn't want to put it in here, then it does go straight to the office. So our school has a really awesome policy where if students get their phones taken away from teachers, then they have to get them at the office. So the first offense, the student has to get it at the office and it's logged into their record. The second time, it's also logged into their record, but their parent has to get it. And the third time, they aren't able to get it back until the end of the quarter, which is an entire quarter of school, which is really helpful for the teachers because it backs us up in our rules, and it is, again, to help the students. So in general, this is what works for me. There are a few kids that choose not to do this, so when they don't put it in here, they do go to the office when I see them. One thing I did want to mention about the calculator holders for the cell phones is that when kids put them up here, they do get the chance to charge their phone. I have a cord up here that will usually hang over the edge of the calculator holder, and I personally buy these for them. So these are just the little adapters for them, so if they bring their cord, they can plug it in here and it will charge during the entire class period. So it's another incentive for it. The teachers that told me they use this also say that it works really well, so I would suggest trying this out at least. But this is just a clothes hanger, zip ties, and then a calculator holder here. So I'm gonna link all the pieces for you down in the down bar to check it out, so you can make one of these of your own. And it is on wheels, so you can roll it around the classroom and then kids can just put it in there. So it's a really good thing. Definitely check that out too. Alright, so the next thing I want to suggest is some type of bell or chime. So in my class, we actually have this giant bell. This was handed down, so every single ASB teacher gets this same one. So if there's someone else who becomes the ASB teacher, I will hand this down to them and they will get this bell. So this is just a really loud bell, like that's all it is. So it says Interact Club, which honestly I don't even know what it means, but this is apparently some kind of mysterious thing that's passed down at my school, and it's kind of a legend. I don't know why, but basically it comes with this little mallet, and all you really do is bang it. So it is pretty loud, so I'm going to bang it so you can hear just how loud it is. But I do suggest a chime or some kind of bell that will grab the student's attention. So here it goes. So it is really loud. Like I said, I like that it's loud because it will grab the attention of the students. However, when it doesn't grab the attention of the students, you have to do it again and it just gets really loud. So I personally would suggest those simple like hotel bells, like the little I don't know what they're called, I just call them hotel bells. It's just a little bell right here and you click the little thing on top and then it will ding. They are a lot smaller, they're more portable, they're not as heavy as this, and you don't have to have two pieces for it. But those are really cheap too, so I suggest getting those, or some kind of bell to grab students' attention, because as a teacher you don't want to be yelling to get students' attention because it just doesn't work. So another thing that I have actually seen on YouTube is that people will get a doorbell, like literally a doorbell. So I'm gonna link that down below too. So it's a doorbell that they'll stick on their whiteboard or on their wall, and then they'll just push the bell and they'll hear a chime for a doorbell. So I think those work really well too. I haven't tried them, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, those are really cool too. So again, everything is going to be linked down in the down bar if you are interested in any of them. Alright, so the next thing that I suggest for teachers is to get a thermal laminator. So this is the laminator I have. This is the Scotch Pro thermal laminator. I use this all the time and I've actually used it for my borders and it works so well. I keep it in the box because I don't like it to get scratched. So I actually have my Cricut still in the box too. I did get a Cricut. So I like to keep things in the box where I can have them nice and neat and not lose all the pieces like the cords. Since I don't use this every single day, it's just easier to store this way. But this is what it looks like. It is the Scotch thermal laminator. So you just put it in through the top and it will come out through the bottom, all laminated. Now if you are a teacher teaching like primary school or younger kids, I do see a lot of those teachers using laminators so much that I definitely suggest getting one of your own so that you don't have to hog up the one at school, which I did last year. I hogged it up so many times. But along with the laminator, you're gonna need some of these. These are the Scotch thermal laminator sheets. So I have probably 3 packages of these. This is one of my new packages, haven't opened it yet, but it's so shiny and new. It comes with a good amount of these, but you just put your paper inside the sheet and then you put the sheet through the laminator and then it'll start to heat up and it will get all warm, and that's how it sticks together. So I suggest the Scotch Pro thermal laminator with the sheets as well. I haven't tried any other laminator aside from the one at my school, which is a heavy duty laminator. I don't even know the brand, but I know that there are some other laminators out there that are pretty cheap, but for the price, I think that this one does really, really well, and I definitely suggest this one. All right, the next thing I suggest is a giant pack of Astro Brights. If you don't know what Astro Brights are, they're just basically colored pieces of paper. So they're not thick like construction paper, they're actually pretty thin like white printer paper. They look like this. You can actually get a lot of different colors. Again, it's not open, it's brand new. But these you can actually put through your printer and print on them. So these are for important things like flyers or a syllabus or something really important that you don't want your students to lose. So I use these on basically the syllabus is the first one. I use red whenever it's super important. I use orange when it's also important. And then as we start to get to things that aren't as important, but maybe like a reference sheet, I will use yellow, blue, or green. So these ones actually help students a lot because instead of asking them, all right, pull out your reference sheet for Wonder, I can actually tell them, all right, so you're taking out your blue sheet today. So the kids already know which one it is based on the color. It helps them a lot and it helps them remember things that are actually on the paper. But there is actually a lot of research where kids will remember things based on the colors. So if I'm writing in red gel pen, I will remember what's in red based on the color that I wrote it in. So I have students write in different colors, highlight in different colors, and I also give kids different handouts and flyers on colored paper just so they can remember a little bit more easily. And again, this is what it looks like. This is just one of the giant packs. Obviously you don't need this many pieces of paper when you're just starting out, but this is just something that I do suggest. I personally get the bigger ones, the ones that are in bulk, because I use them a lot and I'm just so used to them that it's just normal for me to run out very quickly. So again, I suggest Astro Brights. You can also get construction paper. I don't know how you would print on that because it is thicker and that's more of like an art type of thing, but Astro Brights are really good for handouts and different homework assignments and things like that. Alright, so one of my most important materials to have in my classroom is glue. Now, it doesn't sound very important if you are in high school, but because I do ASB, we are gluing a lot, we're painting a lot, we're using a lot of that type of materials. So if you are an art teacher or ASB or any type of teacher that uses art a lot, I would suggest getting some glue. Get the bulk one. It lasts so much longer and it is cheaper than buying the individual bottles. So I did start out with individual bottles and I use these ones to fill up those bottles, so these ones are a lot cheaper. I'm going to show you the different ones I have. So I actually keep these up in the front of my classroom, and I have the blue one, or no, the purple one. It's actually, it goes on purple and it dries clear, and then I have the white ones. So this is what we have left of our glue bottles over here. So I just keep them all lined up over here, and then this one is just a random one that's like almost like a glue stick, but these ones are the purple ones. They go on purple and dry clear. So these are for the kids that use too much and forget where to put it, but this is just all of our glue. And again, we do fill those up with the giant bulk bottles, so I could just pour it in. I suggest getting a funnel because it's a whole lot easier to get it in that little hole, but if you don't want to, that's completely up to you. It's not that hard, but it just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, the next thing I'm going to share with you is completely 100% my favorite thing to get for my classroom, and that is book bins and storage bins. So I'm going to show you my book bins. I got the rainbow ones at Target and they were $3 each, so I actually got quite a lot. And I put them in an IKEA like storage unit. So this is what it looks like. So we have all of our rainbow bins here. So I separate these by period and by group. So when I used to have groups, it would be red group, orange group, whatever, and that's like their table color. And then this would be period 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the book bins. They're just magazine file holders. Again, these are at Target. They were only $3. You can actually see on there, $3. And they come in all these different colors. They also come in pink and black, but I didn't get any of those. But I did get some in our other ones. So this is actually where I keep student notebooks. So whenever there's a quarter where we're working on notebooks, students can write in them. I don't let them take them home because they do lose them. So instead I have them put them in these book bins. We might use notebooks next quarter. I'm not 100% sure. I usually only use them once or twice per year because we do have different students each quarter, so I teach different things. But again, I definitely suggest these book bins. They're really helpful, especially when you're trying to keep kids organized in the classroom and not get everything all jumbled together. Along with the book bins, I do want to show you some of my turn-in bins. That's just what I call them. So they are right over here. They are the same colors. I did get them from Target. Again, they were only $3, but I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then I did have a pink one over here, but I guess not. These ones are just for lined paper, so when kids forget theirs, they can grab them. They are leftovers from notebooks. I just rip them out and recycle them. And then this is where students will turn in work. This is empty glue bottles I need to fill, our scissors, and then our glue that's already filled up, so there's plenty in there. So this is kind of an organization thing and turning in their work every day. So it just makes it a whole lot easier for turning in work and organizing. It's really nice. Again, those are at Target. They're only $3. Definitely suggest that. And I'm going to link my video up here, probably in the down bar too. Check the down bar. It is my haul video for when I did go shopping at Target and Walmart. Those ones are really good and definitely awesome places to go out and get your back to school items. So this is actually a file holder with all these files inside. It's held on the whiteboard through these little ringlets, and I have these magnets that are hooks. So I'll link these hooks down for you. They're just magnets, and then I just hook it onto these little ringlets. So this holder itself just holds the different files in here, and I got the rainbow files. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. So each one of these holds different important documents and important files and just different things like that that I need to keep available and really close to me. So some examples are ASB forms, referral forms, cell phone forms. So anything like this, I just keep this up in the front of my classroom so that whenever I need it, I can just go over here and grab it. Now, I don't have a lot of like storage. I have one cabinet over there and then a file cabinet. That's all ASB paper. There's not a lot of storage for me, so I do like to keep this in the front so that I can have it there readily available. But I'm gonna link all this down for you in the down bar. This holds 5 different files, and I personally suggest the rainbow files because it's easier to differentiate between what's inside, and it just makes it a whole lot easier. So I'm gonna link this down for you in the down bar as well. The last thing I suggest as a teacher is getting some form of game or activity for your students. So I use actually 2 different things. So I'm gonna show you what those are right here. So here we have our wheel. This is like our prize wheel. So I have a lot of different things on here. So if a kid does really well in like Kahoot or quizzes or something, he gets an A on a test or something, he gets to spin the wheel, and there's lots of different things on here. So he can win Puma Bucks, he can win points, he can win nothing. There are some anti-prizes that I put on here, like -1 point, but that's mostly for my drama class because my drama class actually gets a lot of extra credit. So minusing 1 point after they have like 105% on an assignment won't bother them very much at all. But when I do use this for English, I actually don't use the anti-prize here. I'll actually change this to candy, so I'll give them like a little piece of candy. But one of the things that we have on here is actually cornhole. So if you don't know what cornhole is, it is just a game where you toss a beanbag inside, I guess like a little wooden plate type of thing. So this is our cornhole here. It has a stand on the back, so I can pull this out and it'll stand up. So cornhole, there's usually 2, but we only use 1 in our class. So I'll put this like up against a wall, and then a student will grab a beanbag, which is actually right behind here. So they'll grab one of these, and they have to stand like a certain distance, but they have to try and make it in these different holes. So this one would be 1 point extra credit, 2 points extra credit, and 3 points extra credit. So I do that because the top one is a lot smaller, and this one's actually a whole lot easier to get in, so I could literally just kind of roll it and it'll go in. So this is just another opportunity to play a game in class, and it really gets kids excited. So the only way they can actually play this is if they roll the wheel and they get on cornhole. So I definitely suggest getting some type of game or activity for your kids. It really makes class more exciting for them, and it makes it more interesting, and they feel excited when they get rewards, especially if it's like another game to play as a reward. And then once they play that game, they win another reward, like a Puma Buck or like 1 point extra credit or something like that. It's really fun. They tend to really enjoy it, and it really makes your class fun and enjoyable for them. But that's it. That's all I have for my teacher essentials. So please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Put down any comments you have or questions down in the comments bar below. If you're interested in anything that I said, anything I showed you, go ahead and check the down bar. I linked them all for you. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.